Hello, Virgo. Welcome to your January 2023 tarot card and astrology readings. Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you all so much for being here. For those of you who are new, my name is Jane. I'm so grateful to each and every one of you for joining with me on this wonderful new journey this year. So as always, these monthly readings are separated into two segments. So the first segment is the tarot card reading, which is much more intuitive. And the second portion is the astrology section. Now, please feel free to watch these for your sun, moon, or rising sign. However, I do recommend your rising sign for the astrology portion, just so you can get a more accurate viewpoint on what your transits are actually going to be. And don't forget that if you are a member on my website, janeinternational.com, that you'll be able to log on and access the comprehensive readings as always. And if you're not a member and would like to join, you are more than welcome to do that as well. Or you're also free to just do a one-time single purchase of the comprehensive reading, just like we've always done. So let's go ahead and get into these readings for the month. Thank you again. Happy New Year, and I'll see you in just a sec. Hello, Virgo. Welcome to your January 2023 tarot card reading. So let's go ahead here and take a look, see what comes through for you. I'm going to start with my intuitive deck here. Virgo, opening the channel here. Definitely attention being drawn to that spiral. I'm hearing like round and round and round we go. I think Virgo is finding a way out. Finding a way out of this spiral, finding a way out of the patterns, out of the same old circumstance. And I do think it's not, maybe you are sick of it, but I don't know that that's really what's driving it. I think it's just a timing thing. There's something about time. Like time has changed everything. Time has made you more wise. Time has opened up the opportunities. And I actually think Virgo's relationship with time is actually improving. Maybe Virgo as a mercurial energy is just kind of sinking into this Mars retrograde. Now Mars is going to be moving direct on the 12th, but maybe over the past several months you've had to slow things down or go back to basics or something like that. And you're starting to realize that it doesn't always have to be a rush, and there is no rush to the finish line because there is no finish line to begin with. And actually by sinking into that or surrendering into that, you actually open yourself up to greater degrees of success that can happen more effortlessly. So I see good things coming through for Virgo for sure. All right, so we're going to pull out a major arcana card, which signifies what the universe needs from you throughout January, Virgo. So Virgo, what does the universe need from you throughout January? We have, the Chariot. Okay, look, you have to keep going with whatever it is, as long as it's healthy and as long as it makes you happy. Okay, I'm not trying to tell you to keep fighting for someone who's treating you really bad, okay? This is the epitome of self-respect, all right? I think by getting to the finish line, quote unquote, there is no finish line, but also by achieving the goals, I guess we could say, you're going to build greater and greater degrees of self-respect. I think Virgo has to level up in a massive way. So if you've been working at a job forever, Virgo, it's time for you to ask for the promotion, okay? If you have been in a dating scenario for 5 years now and you're like, all right, well, I really want to get married. We're either getting married or it's maybe there's a little bit of ultimatum stuff going on is what I'm hearing with this Chariot. I'm not saying you're creating havoc or anything, but maybe there is a little bit of an ultimatum stuff saying it's either this or something else, or I don't do it, or, but I don't see a lot of flex space for Virgo. You're tired of being on the merry-go-round, right? Tired of being on that merry-go-round, and you found this sense of empowerment within you to really, I don't know, it's make it happen. I don't know, there's something magical about that Chariot card coming through. Make it happen, make it happen. Your dreams, you have to make them happen. Okay, well, I don't normally like to pull out more than one card, but since they both came out upright, clearly there's a message there for you. So we have both the Queen of Cups and the King of Swords. Hold on just one second. Okay, I just had to make sure they were lining up properly. I got a new table, like a white one, and so it's a little bit smaller than my other one, so all the spacing is a little bit different. Okay, so in your environment, you have some, man, this Queen of Cups has been coming out a lot, and it's like people who are in your life, but don't really understand what you're doing, don't understand what you're trying to go for. They're just really like, they're a part of your life, but they're not a part of your adventure. They're not a part of your goal right now. And that's okay. They're loving, they're warm, they're there for you if you need them. It's the emotional support that we all need at some point in our lives, and that's great and beautiful and wonderful. But I think right now the bigger focus here is on this King of Swords, who is powerful. And I love this in a pairing with the Chariot, because this is someone who's going to totally match your energy. This is something that you've said you want to do. Okay, this is what is required in order for you to get off this merry-go-round. You want to make more money? You got to find a way. You got to go get a bigger job. You know, you got to charge more for your services. You have to learn how to invest, right? You got to go buy assets, whatever the case is. You got to pay attention to your portfolio so it doesn't all come crashing down, right? You have to pay attention. You have to find a way. And I think this King of Swords is someone who is probably doing the exact same thing, or who has already done it and maybe acting as an example or a guide, but they're definitely not nice. Okay, the King of Swords I never feel is a very nice person when I'm using this deck, all right? But you respect them. Just because someone's nice doesn't necessarily mean they're respectable in terms of what you're trying to do. This person is respectable, but they're not very nice. Okay, but I think you're okay with that. Maybe Virgo needs a little bit of that tough love. I think there's an element of aspiration with that Chariot, right? Where you aspire to be something. And this person is over here being like, what do you think, that it's going to magically fall into your lap? Do you magically think that this is going to... Now, I'm not saying you have to be all in your full-on masculine, like if you relate a lot to the divine feminine, which is very soft and, a little bit more fluid. I'm not saying you have to be something that you're not, and to be in an energy that doesn't serve you. Okay, not everyone can be in like the hustle mentality, and that's fine. But it doesn't, just because you may relate a little bit more to that femininity does not necessarily mean that you can't still have goals and go out and accomplish them. Okay, so this is someone who's not going to let you get away with it. They're not just going to let you saunter through. They're going to hold you accountable. And I think maybe that's something that you like right now, or that you need. You need that accountability. I don't know. Maybe it's what's been missing in your life. Let's see. Okay, Virgo, let's pull out the 9-card block. So what else does Virgo need to know for January 2023? We have Hermit reversed, the Ace of Coins, and beautiful. I'm loving the active quality of January. Okay, we've got all the planets going direct eventually. Okay, they're eventually all going to be going direct by the 22nd. Uranus is the last planet to go direct, but we have Mercury and Mars doing that 10 days before. And it's like, I think Virgo is really ready to come out of hiding, maybe you've just been processing a lot. Maybe you have been, especially through December, that's 4th house activity with the sun in Sagittarius. 4th house can really pull us into our private world. It can pull us into our private spaces, and that's beautiful and that's great. But right now you're like, I want to get out into the world a little bit more. I want to go do something. There is an ambition with the Chariot. As much as I'm talking about the feminine energy, I would be surprised actually if you were feeling the feminine energy right now. Mars in the 10th house going direct, a lot of 5th house activation. Jupiter in Aries now. There's just a lot of masculinity in the chart. And that's a beautiful thing, because this is the time when we have that pick up and go. And sometimes, like, I know I have tons of feminine stuff in my chart, and that pick up and go, it's a struggle sometimes, it really is. So when you do feel it, when you have an opportunity to embrace it, so much can be accomplished. And look, Ace of Coins, there are opportunities that come with this as well. So there's no missing out on anything. There's no like loss. There's only gain. So if you do have to ultimatum somebody or lay down the gauntlet with somebody, if you end up having to do that, it's likely going to work out in your favor. Now, the other person may not respond how you want, but it's ultimately going to work in your favor, and it's going to spiral you into something pretty fantastic. I always see positivity with that Eight of Wands. It's swift emotion, swift acceleration, which is something that I've been feeling for the past couple of months now. There was a lot of chaos through Leo, Virgo, Libra seasons, and through Scorpio, Sag. Things started to kind of line up. And now that things are lining up, there's no roadblock, there are no obstructions. So it's really just a straight shot forward. Okay? And it's your opportunity to get off this freaking merry-go-round once and for all. Because how annoying is that? To be stuck, let's say, in a financial situation that is completely dissatisfying, or it's like it's not going to get you the life that you want, right? Or to be stuck in a relationship that just simply isn't going anywhere, and someone would rather just kind of keep you on the hook than commit to you. And I think Virgo is really committing to themselves. And when you start committing to yourself, first and foremost, you'd be amazed at what ends up committing to you. Three of Swords. Yeah, because it's getting painful to stay. And wow, okay. So I actually feel the King of Wands is you. This is definitely like the same energy as being on the Chariot here. It's just, there's a sense of completion, and maybe with the Hermit reversed, like, I don't know how long this Hermit mode went for you guys. I know with Saturn in the 6th, that can be a highly isolating transit. So maybe the whole of 21 and 22, you just maybe weren't out there as much. You weren't as available. You were pretty withdrawn during that time. That could certainly be the case. But now, like, with that period of withdrawal, you learned a lot about yourself. You came together with yourself. You reconciled a lot. You healed a lot. And that's the beautiful thing about this King of Wands, is there is a sense of wholeness. Like a King of Wands doesn't sit around thinking, oh, I'm so broken, or oh, I have so much left to work on. He's not perfect, but he doesn't think he's broken. He doesn't think that something's wrong with him. He doesn't continually think, oh, I have more to heal and more to heal, and I don't want to get caught in this perpetual healing process. And he's like, no, that's not what I want to do, right? I don't want my whole life to revolve around my Three of Swords, right? Three of Swords being sadnesses, grievances, disappointments, heartbreaks, betrayals, all sorts of stuff. And I think he's kind of looking on those things and saying, thank you to my Three of Swords. Thank you. But thank you for making me who I am. Thank you for making me strong and wise. But right now, this can't be the focus. And because there is such a strength, and this is like a Leo card, okay, so the Leo archetype is ruled by the sun. So whenever he comes out, I always see the sun. He has his little crown with the flames on it, okay? So there's certainly an element of heat and light, which is extremely life-giving, okay? Wherever there is heat and light, if you think of the hottest and the brightest places on earth, right? We think of like equator places. It's like where the most life grows, the densest jungles, the most wildlife, all that kind of stuff, right? There's just so much abundance in those areas. You are in a place of not only just inviting more abundance into your life, but by contributing to the abundance of other people by doing what you do, creating what you create, teaching what you teach, saying what you say, all of that. Now, this Knight of Swords, I think they definitely want a piece of it. Your back is turned to them. This Knight of Swords is clearly rushing into you. I don't know that you really care. I'm feeling a desperation from that Knight of Swords. Like maybe people get angry, especially if you lay down an ultimatum, like at your work or something, they may feel really upset or betrayed themselves, but you're going to have to deal with the reactions. You're going to have to deal with how people respond. Not everyone is going to like it. Not everyone is going to be okay with it. Not everyone is going to understand it. But even here, this guy, he's going to look at you and be like, okay, great. That's a good sign. It's a good sign that these people, because what's happening is they may be realizing that in order to keep you in their life, they have to seriously level up. And there's like a sense of urgency to do it. Like they can't just continue to take you for granted. They can't continue to let something just keep going. It's like you're moving on, you're evolving, and you're officially in a different place. You're officially off the merry-go-round, and they're over here still spinning, being like, wait a second, when did Virgo jump off? Like, when did this happen? And of course, it happened right under their nose. It was probably pretty obvious. They were probably just really a little too focused on what they had going on to really notice. So the King of Swords, though, I think is going to be very encouraging and is going to help keep you strong. If you have people in your life who are willing to offer the harsh truth and the harsh feedback and hold you accountable, those are the people that you need. You do not need friends right now. You don't need people who are just going to tell you what you want to hear. They're going to tell you what the King of Swords is going to tell you what you need to hear. Now, it's going to require a lot of willpower here because Queen of Cups, again, she's just kind of here of like, hey, if you need me, I'm over here. If you need a hug or if you need to just vent and talk things through, or if you need to go grab a drink or something, like I'll be here. I'll cook you some good food and I'll just let you talk, and we all need people like that in our lives too. So I'm happy that actually both those cards fell out, because if it was only this, you may feel really, really alone. You may feel a lot of doubt because you're like, is this really the right thing? So-and-so is telling me that this is what I'm supposed to do, but I'm not really sure. I don't really know if I, like the whole thing, right? So at least this person, you can get it out of your system and they're not going to be there they're not judging you, they're just there and they love you and they support you and it's beautiful. Okay. So King of Swords. What else for Virgo for January 2023? What else for Virgo? We have the 7 of Coins. We have 9 of Coins. Why do I feel the merry-go-round is really financially based? That most of this is like financial stuff. Now, not everybody has like money wounding, all right? Some people have a really healthy, strong, good relationship with money. If that's you, congratulations, you're just going to take it even higher, okay? If you're not one of those people and you do have a hard time like really wrapping your head around money and what it is, and your relationship with money is tarnished, this is a time for you to take a big leap of faith. Like, I think one of the examples I said was like, if you're, working for somebody, you walk in and ask for the promotion, or you go try to find a new job that can pay more, or you start charging more for your services or whatever the case may be. Because when you look at your current situation, you look at your bank account, you look at your income, and then you consider what kind of lifestyle you want to live, there's a gap there. Now, I'm telling you, the gap is not that big. We actually have 7, 8, and 9. So we're operating within a really there's a minimal bandwidth here, and it's not going to take a lot for you to get from 7 to 9. Okay, I'm just Just letting you know. But there is going to have to be some effort. But you don't have to prove yourself at this point. This is not a situation where you have to like, oh, I want that promotion, so I'm going to work and work and work, and I'm going to stay late and come early, and I'm not going to take a lunch, and I'm not, that's not how this is going to go down. This is going to happen because you are like really understanding your inherent value. Okay? King of Wands style. You are worth what you say you're worth because that's what you say you're worth. Financially, not like esoterically, okay? So that's great. I mean, it's really good news. I think it's exciting. And with all these planets going direct, yes, Mars going direct in Gemini will be a little chaotic, but like in a really good way. Because you've been working hard over the past few months with Mars retrograde. And Mars came into Gemini back in August, so it's been a while. It's been a really long time, and he's still got a few months to go. He doesn't leave until the very end of March. So that 10th house Mars is really pulling you in a good direction. And I think it feels like a sense of relief to many of you. It feels like, oh, finally, or oh, thank goodness this is all happening. Okay, so for those of you who are new to my channel, the cards I'm about to pull out are the cards we will cover in the comprehensive reading. The link for that will be found in the description box and the comment thread down below. There are multiple purchase options, so please make sure you just read and choose the right solution that makes the most sense for you. Okay. Beautiful. So we have the 10 of Cups, we have the 7 of Swords. Kind of felt like that one, okay. And 5 of Coins. So in the environment, what else does Virgo need to know about their environment? Well, hold on, that kind of messed it up. It's fine, we'll just layer the cards here. We've got the Ace of Wands, excuse me. Another 3 of Swords. And last but not least, we have 7 of Cups. Okay, so all right, let's go ahead and pull clarify the 9 card block here. Let's take a look. So for the Hermit, we have the 10 of Coins. What I mean, there's money stuff. 6 of Cups and 7 of Wands. Ace of Coins, we have a Hierophant, a Page of Swords, and a Page of Wands. Love the pages. Another Queen of Cups. She's been like making the rounds this month for a lot of readings. She's just this nice, motherly, like really maternal presence with whom we can feel safe and comfortable, and we can feel just like we can be ourselves. 3 of Wands reversed, 2 of Swords. The Fool. I think Virgo is freeing themselves from their past right now. It's a beautiful thing to see. Oh my gosh, I love the King of Cups, if I could talk. I think that one. Ace of Cups. I love the Ace of Cups with the Ace of Coins. That's very exciting. Whew, another Ace of Wands. The Star. Ooh, the Chariot. 4 of Cups. Emperor reversed. Tower. 7 of Coins is definitely a disempowering situation. Death reversed and a 2 of Wands. Now for the 9 of Coins. Beautiful. Another 10 of Cups. Justice. And a Lover's card. Final. 8 of Swords. Seven of Swords, and the Knight of Cups. Okay, so this is where we're going to pick up in the comprehensive reading. You guys know I love you. Have an amazing January, and I'll talk to you very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, Virgo. Welcome to your January 2023 astrology reading. So January is a very exciting month, right? We're Capricorn season, and that in and of itself is really positively aspected for the earth signs Virgo and Taurus, right? We have this beautiful trining quality that's happening. And this is usually an advantageous time for earth signs to really tap into the ease of life a little bit more. Now, it doesn't mean you have to, be lazy or anything. It just means like it doesn't always have to be such an uphill battle. And January is a fantastic month. I'm calling it my turnaround month, right? Because we've got Mars, we've got Uranus, and we've got Mercury moving direct by the end of the month. And so as we make our way into Aquarius season, all the planets are going to be moving direct, which kind of gives us that acceleration that I've been talking about for a few months now. And we're starting to feel like, every time a planet goes retrograde, there's a little bit of internalization, which is great, and that's fine. And a lot of people feel very comfortable there. But it's also really nice to have the externalization of life as well, to be able to go out in the world and make really cool things happen without it being this huge internal process, right? Sometimes it's nice to give that a little bit of a break. And so I think this is the time where we get out of ourselves, we get out of our heads, we get out of our emotions, and we're just able to just go create. And especially with the fifth house activation here, with your ruling planet Mercury being in retrograde here in the fifth house, it really is about your creation. And there's a lot of really cool ideas that can come through with the fifth house transit, as well as that being coupled with a Mars in the 10th house in Gemini. Just a lot of really cool ideas, a lot of movement, a lot of experimentation, a lot of play, right? You get to play with new ideas. And I think this is a time for Virgo to really just kind of let loose a little bit. I know that Virgo can be rigid sometimes with the standard and the rules that they hold themselves to. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think right now the universe is asking Virgo to really stretch just a little bit, to go beyond the known world so that you can experience an entirely new reality. And as we begin January, Venus comes into the 6th house on January 2nd. So this is really the first big transition that we have. Venus coming into Aquarius, she's really providing. Venus really is about placing value on something, right? So when we place value on 6th house themes, our physical health, our nutrition, being organized, staying on a schedule, living up to our daily habits. I actually really like this. And Virgo's the only sign I can say this about because you're the only sign. Venus is transiting the 6th house this month. So we have our beginning of the new year. Happy New Year, everybody. Beginning of the new year. We have our New Year's resolutions. Some of us, not everybody. We have an idea of where we want this year to go and what we want to accomplish. And Venus comes in and says, okay, great, we have this idea, but let's place a lot of time and energy and attention on the areas of life that are going to set me up for the success that I'm aiming for, right? Because that's the 6th house is like a setup house. This is where you set everything up. This is where you ensure that the tools that you're working with, your body, your physical health, your time management, all that kind of stuff, those are really important for you to accomplish all the other things. Okay, so it's maybe a little boring, but it's also essential. And later on, when the sun comes into the 6th house with the activation of Aquarius season, that energy is just going to continue. So you have a lot of stuff going on here with creation and wanting to really expand and build on things that you've already set in motion in 2022. But you have this nice little window here, January and February, where you have the opportunity to 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 build upon the expansion that's already occurred, right? Like here's the expansion and now you get to build, like you've kind of hit this plateau here. So you get to build kind of like the next level so the next level can continue to grow. And because it's New Year's resolution time, this is probably going to make it more probable that you're actually going to do the things that you said you were going to do. Hopefully that is the case. That's probably not going to be the case for everybody, but if you're conscious of it and you're aware of it and you really do want it, you're very well astrologically supported. Let's just say that, okay? Because I know Mars in Gemini has been really all over the place. There's been a lot of new ideas and a lot of new creativity, but there's also been a lot of like courage and bravery with this as well. And I know with Mars in the 10th, there is a desire for Virgo to want to be positioned in a place that is honorable, right? Mars is like a leadership planet. He wants to take the lead with things. And so when you're contemplating your own life and you're contemplating your creative pursuits with all this fifth house stuff going on, and you're contemplating the legacy, also a big fifth house thing, when you're contemplating the legacy that you would like to leave in this world, you know, I think Virgo has felt a lot of, I don't know if it's like a desire or just like it's just time to put yourself in a position where you can be someone that others look to for guidance or for direction or for knowledge or whatever the case is, right? However you can lead, I'll put that in quotes because the leadership aspect of Mars, whatever it is that you can do to be a leader, Virgo is prepared to do that. Virgo is prepared to step into their own lives and really take the bull by the horns here. And that's actually been true ever since Virgo's season, if I'm being totally honest, because that's when like Mars really was coming into Gemini and we had the sun in Gemini and we had all this Mercury energy. It was like Mercury everywhere. Mercury was going crazy. But when you had the sun in your first house and you had Mars in the 10th, you were like the freaking leader, right? Everyone was really looking to you. And whether you realized it or not, people were watching and what you did mattered. And now it's kind of coming to this point with the Capricorn energy of really reaping the rewards of that, right? Capricorn is all about the harvest. When we think of the Saturn symbol, the scythe, which is that curved blade that they use to cut wheat in the field, like this is a time of collecting your harvest. So all the things you've been working on all year long, they've reached a point, and I'm not saying it's perfect or exactly what you want it to be, but it has reached the point now where it has to be like replanted almost. You cut the old thing down and then you replant for the sake of next year. So you are reaping the rewards to some degree. Mercury retrograde, of course, your ruling planet being retrograde, I think is also adding to the creative factor and also to the bravery. I think that as Virgo kind of pushes past these rules and these boundaries and these regulations that they set up for themselves, as Virgo pushes past these things, you're putting yourself in a totally new comfort zone. And maybe some people might be looking on at Virgo and being like the audacity, right? And I think that's a good place for you to be. Like I want Virgo with Mars in the 10th and even Jupiter in here in the 8th house. Like I want Virgo to put themselves in a position where other people think, oh my God, the audacity. How dare they do that, right? Because it shows you, Virgo, that you are doing something that's probably really good for you and it's challenging other people to level up. Because the only reason that people would say that would be if they know that they're not living up to their own standards, right? So it's hard. It's a little uncomfortable, but this Uranus North Node conjunction here is kind of forcing Virgo to really do the expansion thing for real. It's like forcing you to like go beyond the known realm of your known world and move on into something completely different. Now, this Uranus North Node portal has really been in place since the very beginning of August. end of July, beginning of August. These two, North Node's not a planet, but Uranus and the North Node came together, and then Uranus started retrograding with the North Node. So they have been like really, really close for a little less than 6 months now. And, as of the 22nd of January, Uranus is going to be moving. I say less than 6 months as of the 22nd of January, as Saturn moves direct, North Node and Uranus. I'm like messing everything up. This Mercury retrograde is kicking my butt. I just got to say, okay, as a Virgo myself, Uranus, North Node, Uranus moves direct, North Node's continuing in its direction. So they start to separate. I've been calling this conjunction over the past few months like a portal, meaning a period of time that is providing an ample opportunity to make radical changes in places that we're comfortable with Taurus, right? Maybe not even stubborn. I don't even know that I would use that word. Maybe I did in the past, but now I'm like really looking back on this and I'm like, this was just people asking people to get out of their comfort zone. It was just asking people like that place where you feel cozy and where you feel really like contained and you feel safe. Uranus is like, okay, that's beautiful, but you need to grow here. And it pushes you out. It pushes you out the door, right? Just get outside, go places you've never gone before and try things you've never done before. And that is a very threatening thing for a lot of people as well, which is why I say that whole thing about Virgo doing things to kind of people thinking, oh, the audacity of them to do that. It's time for you to. It's time for you to, do something unexpected. Now, I'm not telling you to do something to put yourself in dire straits, okay? Not what I'm saying, not what I'm recommending. It's not about hardship, okay? So don't put yourself in a place of hardship. But it is about going far, far, far beyond and randomly quitting your job one day if you feel that it is necessary and that you can do that, or randomly doing something that people just would never expect. And even something that might even surprise yourself, like, wow, I can't believe I did that. How crazy that was. That was insane. I can't believe I said that thing, or I went to that place. I can't believe I told that person that, I think that kind of pushing yourself out of the comfort zone probably will have some pretty incredible effects. We also have Jupiter. Now, this is kind of old news. Back in December, on December 20th, Jupiter came into Aries. So we already know this. But Jupiter in Aries, at the 8th house activation, this is a time of pretty radical change for Virgo. Jupiter magnifies wherever he is. And you're adaptable. You're a mutable sign. So you do very well with the adapting. But I think this is bigger than just like adapting to an environmental change. This is actually consciously, purposefully saying, universe, God, spirit, this isn't who I want to be anymore. And so the shedding of the skin for Virgo over the next 5 months is going to be pretty profound. And I think Virgo is poised. Again, if you want to, I'm not saying every Virgo is going to do this, but if you want to really harness this, you could take your life from like regular and mundane to like multimillionaire. I'm using money as an example, but it doesn't have to be money. It could be love of your life, or traveling the world, or living in that beautiful home, or being pregnant and having your first child, like whatever it is. Like you really could take your life from where you are to where you want to be very, very quickly. It's just a matter of choices. It's a matter of decisions and carrying through with those decisions. And that's why Venus coming into the 6th house is so beneficial, because she's going to value the day-to-day choices, and she's going to look at those mundane little small things and realize the compound impact that they'll have. So don't sleep on the small things, because just doing one extra thing per day, or one extra phone call, or sending out one extra email, or doing one extra little thing, it will add up. And this is what I'm saying. Between January and March 16th, when Jupiter comes into Taurus eventually, Virgo has the potential to be a completely different person in like 4.5 months. Okay. So it's an exciting time for a lot of people, but for certain signs, and I think Virgo is one of them because of this Jupiter transit. The last thing, actually, I probably should mention is the full moon in Cancer. Okay, now this is happening on January 6th, so in the next several days. This particular full moon comes on the heels of a really serious series of moons. Okay, ever since Cancer season of 2022, when we had the big full moon conjunct Pluto over here in Capricorn, that full moon has been conjunct a big planet ever since, or an asteroid. Okay, so it's been conjunct Pluto in July, then it was Saturn, then it was Neptune, then it was Chiron, then it was Uranus with the eclipse, and then it was Mars. And now Moon comes and does her beautiful full moon in her domicile in Cancer, and she is pronounced and she is free, and she's not even really aspected by anything. I mean, she's got a couple minor things happening or some weak aspects, but really the strongest aspect is her sextile with Uranus, which is going to be incredibly potent and positive. So there's this quality of freedom and liberation and chaos and revolution. Did I say revolution already? With Uranus, but then she is safe and secure in her domicile of Cancer, which means we are safe to do these radical things. Now, is it going to be easy? Is it going to be perfect? Absolutely not. No, nothing ever is. But it will ultimately work out. And when we feel safe, it is so much easier to do these hard things. It's so much easier to challenge ourselves and to push ourselves. And so this is a really important moment for everybody. This moon, I don't normally do moon ceremonies. Very rare that I do those. There's only a couple per year that I do. I probably will do one this time because this is about letting it go, like all the way, let it go. You've come so far over the past 6 months with these past 6 moon cycles. You've done so well. You've done so many wonderful things. And now it really is time to just like let the past go and move on and to become that completely different person that to a degree you knew you were always destined for. And astrologically, you are supported in that, Virgo. Okay. So it's a big time. Like I say, January is a month of turning things around. So we gotta turn it around. And 2023 has the potential. I'm not saying there's not going to be a bunch of stuff, because there will be a bunch of stuff. But for us as individuals with our own consciousness and our own ability to perceive opportunity when it may seem that there is none, that is going to be a game changer for certain people who have the right mindset and who don't play victim to circumstances or victim of government or victim of economy or whatever the case is. Those are the people that the world is opening up for. Okay. All right. I'm going to leave you guys with that. You guys know I love you. Have a great January, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.